Hello parents, this is Mary Keenley, principal of St. Teresa's School, and I know it's been a while, but it's time for another parent update. Before we begin, I'd just like to take a moment to express my thanks to all of you on behalf of my family for these past few weeks. The quantity of prayer and support we have received has been just mind-blowing. I've been a practicing Catholic my whole life. I'm very involved in my faith and very involved in the life of the church. And it took until these last 2 weeks for me to really understand what being a Catholic, being a Christian is all about. And the community that we have, a community of faith, community of belief, community of love for each other. I thank you for your support, and I thank you for the excellent example that you have set for me and for the particularly younger members of my family about how a grown-up lives his or her faith in this modern time. I'm very grateful. I do beg your continued prayers for our family, especially for my sister-in-law and my brother, who are just suffering so terribly during this time. I know that you are in my prayers every day, and the prayers of my parents in particular. Grateful for all you've done for us. So thank you very much. So just an update on some things that are going on in school. First of all, let's talk about iReady. 1st through 8th grade, your iReady results will be sent home with your child this Friday. Kindergarten, some may go home this Friday, but the rest will go home during conferences next week. This fall, your child has been participating in the first of 3 iReady assessments, monitoring their progress in reading and in math. 1st through 8th grade started right in the first days of school, and kindergarten started just last week, and they're just finishing up right now. This assessment is creating for us a baseline of what your children know and are able to do at their grade level in reading and math based on the specific learning standards from the Archdiocese. This assessment, although critical, is not nearly as critical as the second assessment your child will take in the winter time that will track their growth and normalize their scores a little bit. And then finally, a third assessment, which they will take in the spring, which will show their progress related to the first assessment in August and where they stand at the end of the academic year. And as we have been telling you, iReady is an interactive online program that not only offers the assessment, but also creates an individualized learning plan for each student. And it does 2 things. It informs the teacher so they know how to guide instruction in small group as well as in whole group, as well as creating an opportunity for growth and practice that is completely individualized for your specific student. On Friday or next week, depending on the age of your child, you will receive 2 reports for each of your children, one in math and one in reading. It will be rating your child on several indicators, depending on which test and which subscore you're looking at. First of all, it will rate your child as being above, at, approaching, or below the specific grade level. And it also may indicate that they tested out, received a maximum score, or needs improvement in other areas. The test scores you're going to be seeing for both reading and math will reflect not only what your child has learned in the past year, but also the impact of e-learning in the spring and the very traditional summer slide. The results that your child receives on this will generate a specific learning path for your child. Your child will be working on this computer-based software throughout the next weeks up through Christmas, honing in on some of their weaker areas and learning skills that they have not developed. In addition, your teachers will be using these results to guide their instruction. For example, one of the math teachers noticed that there is a general weakness in one of the areas of measurement across the board with all the students. So the teacher's then going to go back and reteach that particular discrete concept so that the whole class can learn it. In other cases, for example, in reading, your child might be able to be in small reading groups that focus in on their specific reading level and skills that they need to be developing during this time. So it's a great piece of software, personalizing practice for your own child, as well as giving us group information so that we can change our instruction in our classes. One of the big questions that you have expressed since the spring, and now with these reports going home, is should I be concerned? Just a little warning that because of the current situation and because of the way the program is designed, you might find your child's scores to be a little bit low. A couple reminders is that the goal is to be at or above grade level by the end of this academic year. So if your child is in 4th grade, it's not so much concerning where your child is now, but where your child is headed. Now you might be saying, well, that's kind of the same thing. Any kind of it is. But what we're doing is we are pinpointing the weaknesses so we can shore things up during the year if things were missed in the spring or things were lost during this crazy summer that we have. The winter assessment your child will take is actually more telling of their actual progress. Their brains have been back in school, they will have been learning, some of the weaker areas will have been caught up, so it's those middle scores that are a little more telling for us. I do tell you, however, if you are concerned, please reach out to your child's teacher. If we are concerned here at school about your child's scores, we certainly will be reaching out to you. And all this information, along with the progress reports, will be going home on Friday, 1st through 8th grade, and then some kindergarten, the rest of kindergarten, if the iReady scores don't go home, you'll be getting them at conferences. Again, kindergarten is just finishing up their iReady testing right now. We didn't start them right away. Preschool through 5th grade will also be receiving progress reports on paper, and middle school progress reports are on PowerSchool. Just make sure you're checking in with PowerSchool and you are aware of your child's progress in their academic subjects here at school. And as always, if you have any questions, please reach out to your child's teacher or reach out to me directly. As I have mentioned, parent-teacher conferences are coming up. We are slightly delayed in getting this information out to you, but they are scheduled for next week, Tuesday through Thursday, October 6th through 8th. Parent-teacher conferences this year, in at least the fall ones, will be virtual on the Google Meet platform. They will occur next week, Tuesday through Thursday, October 6th through 8th, between the hours of 3 o'clock and 6 p.m. as scheduled. We will be using an online scheduler called Pick-a-Time. Preschool through 3rd grade, please make an appointment with your classroom teacher. 4th through 8th grade, 2 options. If any of your child's teachers want to see you, they will be reaching out to you this week to schedule an appointment. If you want to see a particular teacher, please go ahead and schedule a conference with that teacher. Scheduling will open on Thursday, tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. And the instructions for scheduling are, if you scroll down on the email that this presentation came with, there's links there to get you scheduled. And again, we are going to be scheduling via Google Meet. When you schedule, the system will create a Meet link for you. This is the access point to your virtual conference. If you're using a Google Calendar, you can go ahead and copy this link into your calendar or simply go back into your Pick-a-Time account at the time of your conference and you should be able to launch right from your Pick-a-Time account. In this presentation, you will see there are 2 links available. If you are new to St. Teresa and do not have a Pick-a-Time account, please click on the first link to create your account, and then that will take you to the scheduler. If you already have a Pick-a-Time account from last year, just go ahead and log in and that will take you right to the scheduler. If you have any questions about parent-teacher conferences in any way, please contact your child's teacher. If you are having technical questions about Pick-a-Time, please reach out to Mr. Tuntlin, our technology integration coach, and he will get you going. Just a little update on health and safety and the reopening of school. We have received our first health and safety inspection. The school was inspected by the Archdiocese last Thursday. We are very pleased with the results, although we're not surprised. We knew how well we did, and we were basically rated as A. We followed all the protocols as required. The inspector did make some recommendations, which we are acting on right now. We are changing the management of both washrooms and drinking fountains a little bit. And we are being a little more diligent about desk placement in the classroom. We are going to be changing around a couple things in a couple of the classrooms, removing some additional furniture just to increase the distance a little bit. We have also created a local health and safety team consisting of Mrs. Montry and of some selected parents and teachers, both to work on our compliance to make sure that we are compliant with all the guidelines and to assess the issue of drift. That is, as we get comfortable working in the school this way, getting a little careless, a little casual with some of the guidelines. Clarification regarding sick days and remote learning. Just to clarify that remote learning, aside from those of you who have chose to learn remote 100% of the time, remote learning only occurs when you are officially quarantined due to a COVID exposure. If you are simply homesick or being kept home because a sibling is sick or waiting a test results, in grades K through 5, you are not eligible to participate in remote learning. You are simply taking a sick day and will get your work in the traditional means, talking to the teacher, and the teacher will send it home to you. In middle school, you can learn remotely if you are home because you're sick or a sibling is sick or you're waiting test results. However, if you are sick, we do encourage you to take the day to sleep, to relax, and to get better so that your body can heal. Now, why is there a difference and why are we not allowing remote learning on a dime with the little kids? Well, the simple reason is that remote learning is not as simple as it looks. It is very complex, both for the teachers and for the students, and as such is not an effective way for students to learn in a very short period of time, like a 2-day home absence or a 3-day home absence. The middle schoolers learn on this platform all the time. So for them, it's not a huge deal to be jumping in and out of Google Classroom, meeting their class and running their class schedule. It is not a big deal for their teachers to manage them on Google Classroom because they're already doing it. Grades K through 5 is very different from this. And so we are not doing remote learning for short absences on grades K through 5. That said, I can't thank you enough for all the parents that have contacted us, kept kids home, kept siblings home in an abundance of caution and trying to keep us all safe. I am very grateful for all you're doing and for how quickly some of you came when we had to call home and ask you to take your students and siblings home. You were just Johnny on it, no complaining, and you're making it so much easier for us, and I'm very appreciative of this. Just a couple little reminders and comments. Wouldn't be a report from Ms. Keenley if I didn't talk about pickup and drop off. Just a reminder that when you're picking up or dropping off, please be sure that you are not blocking driveways. And this includes any of the driveways on Benton Street, the driveway at the rectory on the Little Way. We had an incident recently where the priest had to rush out quickly because someone was dying and he needed to give them last rites, and he couldn't get his car out because we were blocking it. We don't want to do that. As well as all the driveways on Fremont. If you have pulled out on Fremont and have pulled over in order to buckle your kids up, please do go ahead and pull over to buckle the kids up, but don't block on the driveway. Second thing, it is very important that you do not cut through the funeral home, that you come all the way around and come down Benton Street. Why? 2 reasons. Number one, it's actually illegal to do that. It's called avoiding a stop, and it's illegal in Illinois. Second of all, it creates a hazard both for the funeral home and for us because you're coming the wrong direction into the traffic. So please take the extra couple seconds and be respectful and come around down on Benton rather than cutting through the funeral home. A happy reminder, tomorrow, Thursday, it's our feast day. The Feast of Saint Therese of Lisieux is on October 1st, tomorrow, Thursday. We will have Mass at 9 o'clock. It will be virtual except our 8th graders who have been invited to participate in person for the first time this year. We're excited for our 8th graders to actually be able to go to Mass and participate in the Mass live. Everyone else will be remote and will be able to go to communion as scheduled. And on the subject of communion, the next group of our 3rd graders will be receiving their first communions on Saturday at noon. Congratulations to these young people. Please remember to pray for them this Saturday as they make their first communions and then come back for Mass on Sunday to make their second communions on Sunday with the St. Teresa community. So that's all I got for now. See everybody next week, more or less, at Parent-Teacher Conferences. Thank you again for all your cooperation and all your support, and thank you again for your care and concern for my family. Have a great day.